Plenty to discuss from a Saturday at the Paul Ricard circuit as we build up, of course, to Sunday's action in the French Grand Prix here at GPFans. There was sparring once more between Christian Horner and Toto Wolff before Saturday's qualifying got underway. Some excellent scrapping on track during the session. And of course, a successful Scuderia on pole for the French Grand Prix for Sunday. I'm Ollie Wilson for GPFans, and this is a complete recap of everything you need to know from Saturday at the Paul Ricard circuit. Saturday started with some spice between old rivals Toto Wolff and Christian Horner as discussions over the new technical directive brought into F1 by the FIA for the Belgian Grand Prix continued. The Red Bull team principal Horner bemoaned what he described as lobbying by Mercedes for the new technical directive and regulation changes that are perhaps going to come into effect for the Belgian Grand Prix and then for the 2023 season, with Toto Wolff and his team very vocal in their protests earlier in the week and previously in weeks around other constructors supposedly using illegal flexible floors on their cars to deal with the bouncing and porpoising issues of this current season. Horner has been unimpressed with the Mercedes complaints and feels the new directive will still leave the RB18 unchanged for the 2022 season as it complies with the regulations, before adding that the new changes that the FIA are considering introducing for 2023, including raising the floor edges on the car, are unfair. It's not so much the directive that is the issue, said Horner. The problem is what they are looking at as the remedy for next year, because the directive is neither here nor there for us. There is an awful lot of lobbying to change the regulations significantly for next year. Horner went on to say that he feels that the changes are being forced through to allow a certain team to run its car lower and benefit from their design concept. However, Mercedes have responded to these statements, with Andrew Chauvelin saying there is no certainty a regulation change would benefit the Mercedes team, saying, "You can understand the conundrum of teams that don't want the regulations to change, but we don't know that a regulation change would suit us." It should also be noted that AlphaTauri, Ferrari, Haas and Alfa Romeo, all coincidentally powered by either Red Bull powertrains or Ferrari, are all against the 2023 regulation change, with the FIA saying that the change is being brought in on safety grounds if it does get introduced for next year. Okay, let's skip to on track on Saturday, and it was Charles Leclerc celebrating as he took pole position for Sunday's French Grand Prix. Verstappen and Leclerc's battle for top spot in Q3 was almost as tight as it could have been, with the first run seeing the Ferrari just 0.08 of a second faster than the Dutchman. The final run, however, cemented a first Ferrari pole at the Paul Ricard circuit since 1990 with a 1 minute 30.872, the Red Bull driver unable to respond. Leclerc was quick to thank Carlos Sainz over team radio for the tow that he provided for both Q3 runs, with Sainz starting from the back of the grid, of course, for Sunday's race with an engine change for the Spanish driver. Sergio Perez finished 3rd, Lewis Hamilton 4th, Lando Norris 5th, George Russell 6th, Fernando Alonso 7th and Yuki Tsunoda 8th. Kevin Magnussen will leap ahead of Sainz for Sunday's race to start 9th on the grid, with Danny Ricciardo finishing out the top 10 for Sunday's race. "It's a great lap," said the Scuderia pole sitter. "I've struggled all weekend to put a lap together and I managed to put it. But I have to say I also had the help of Carlos, and it was amazing teamwork because without Carlos it would have been much more close. It's difficult to understand what the Red Bull guys have done yesterday because there was loads of difference in terms of lap times, so let's see how it goes tomorrow." Max Verstappen believes Red Bull still have a decent race car for Sunday's Grand Prix at the Paul Ricard circuit after Charles Leclerc pipped into pole in Saturday's qualifying session. Asked what happened to what had been looking like a very strong track for the Red Bull to take pole position, Verstappen mused that the grip on his RB18 just wasn't quite where he wanted it to be, hence he was unable to claim top spot on the grid, instead settling for second alongside his championship rival in the Ferrari. But the Dutchman and the Drivers' Championship leader feels there is at least a battle to be had on Sunday, with the win possibly still to come. Overall, we have a decent race car, and hopefully tomorrow, of course, will come to our favour. We are quick on the straights, so hopefully we can use that tomorrow. Clearly they, Ferrari, have been really quick again. So what will happen at the Paul Ricard circuit on Sunday? Let us know in the comments section below. GPFans.com for all of the updates across the weekend, and GPFans Global on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok for all of our social media content.